Okay, hi there. So today I'm going to look at the next set of notes, which are on infographics. And infographics may be new to you, maybe not, but they are becoming quite popular in society, and I see them in magazines now. So they are becoming, like I said, quite popular. There are some advantages that you can in terms of displaying your information in infographic, because you can display a lot of information, but at the same time, when you display a lot of information, that can be overwhelming, and that's generally the feedback that I get from students with these infographics, is that there's so much to look at, and having to find what you need is a little bit can be a little challenging. Okay, so that's why I want to do what I've designed these notes for us to do, is that here, the infographic here on the T, I'm going to do this one from top to bottom. I'm going to answer all 10 questions associated with it. So I'm going to go back and forth between the infographic itself and the questions that I have designed to go along with this infographic. And then you have another one available to you, I believe it's on Florida, available to you in the correct folder for you to try solo. Okay. All right, so like I said, I'm just going to go back and forth, and what I'll do is that I will just put the number, the question number, beside where I'm getting it from on the actual infographic here that you're seeing in front of you. All right, so according to the first question is asking us, according to the graphic, what country drinks the most tea? So we would go back to our infographic and look and to see right up here at the top, this is where they have a breakdown of the countries. And so we want drinking the most tea, then we want to have the highest percentage. And so according to that, then India has the highest percentage. So that would be our answer to the first one. And you're going to find that in some cases, in terms of answering our questions, that it will be very straightforward. We can get our answers by simply plucking those off of our infographic. Okay, so our answer here would just be India. Okay, and I'll go back to our graphic. Well, actually, before I do that, in number 2, it says, when was the first iced tea enjoyed? So go back to our graphic. So I'm going to put a number 1 here. This is where we got our answer to number 1. Number 2, want to know when was the first iced tea enjoyed. So I'm looking around here at the top. I'm not seeing it. So we come on down. You'll notice down here at the bottom, towards the bottom, there's number 2. In 1904, the first iced tea was enjoyed during the St. Louis World's Fair. So I will go back then to here, and we say, okay, that answer then would be 1904. So again, 2 answers that we could just easily pluck off of the infographic itself. Some are going to require us to do a little bit more work, and that's what's going to happen pretty much as we move forward through this set of questions. So in number 3, it says, how much more caffeine is in a 20-ounce energy drink than in a big brand coffee? So going back to our graphic, so we can see, okay, I can already see here, here's our big brand coffee right here, and a 20-ounce energy drink. Is that right? A 20-ounce energy drink right here. Sorry, I got it confused for just a moment up here with that 8-ounce energy drink. My 20-ounce energy drink right here. So basically right here and here, these 2 pieces here. So that's what I'm getting to answer question number 3. So that would be taking those 2 numbers and subtracting them. So 300 minus 250, and that would land us at 50 milligrams difference. Final answer. All right, we'll move on down to number 4. Number 4 says, what type of tea do most people prefer? So going back to our graphic, and I believe back up here towards the top, the types of tea in order of preference. So that would be their preference up here, and you can see that black tea has the highest percentage there. So that would be our answer to number 4. I'll come back over here, and we would say, okay, we're talking about black tea then, being the most preferable. In number 5, it wants to know what percent of Americans drink tea, and they say round to the nearest percentage. So going back to our graphic, and you'll notice just over here to the left, 5 out of 6 Americans are tea drinkers. So we can use that information to get a percentage out of that. You think about part over whole equals, or part over whole times 100 would give us our percentage. So 5 out of 6 times 100, and if you do that, that should put you at 83%. So 83% of Americans drink tea. I'm not one of them. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. Looking at number 6, if 2,000 people were surveyed, how many of those people would prefer green tea? So go back to our graphic. Green tea over here. So I'm going to put this for number 6. Green tea has a representation of 17%. And it told us back in the problem that 2,000 people were surveyed. So we want to figure out then what is 17% of 2,000. So I would use my formula, part equals percent times whole. And so we know that the green tea represents 17%, so 0.17, times the total number of people, and that just came from the problem here, 2,000 people. So 0.17 times 2,000, 340 people would prefer green tea. All right, in number 7, it wants to know how many cups of tea are drunk in the U.S. every day. So going to our graphic. Let's see, they tell us that 1.4 million pounds of tea is drunk every day in the U.S., so we want to convert those pounds into cups. Okay, so 1.4 million. So remember, the 1 is in the million spot, and so then I'm gonna do here. So this is your 1 is in the million spot. Then these are your thousands. Remember, there's ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and there's your millions. So 1 in the million spot. Your 4 goes directly behind it, and then fill in everything else with zeros. And that would be pounds for every 1 day. And we just need to convert that into cups per day. So we just need to go from pounds to cups. So if we go from pounds to ounces, we know that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So now pounds have canceled out. We can go from ounces to cups, and we know that there are 8 ounces in 1 cup. And then we'll cancel out our ounces. And then we are multiplying straight across. So we can tell on the bottom that we're going to get 8. Up top, you will get 2, 2, 4. So that's 1,000, 22,400,000. Take that number, divide by 8, and we would get 2,800,000 cups per day. Okay. In part 8, it wants to know how many gallons of tea are consumed daily worldwide. So in number 8, we're going to get our graphic back up here at the top. Here's number 8. They tell us that 3 billion cups are consumed daily. They want to know how many gallons. So we want to convert these cups into gallons. So we have 3 billion cups. So remember, you think of this as ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, millions, billions. So there's your 3 billion, and then put in 0 zeros after that. That is cups for every 1 day. And I want to convert from these cups to gallons. So we can do that in a couple of steps. We can go from cups to pints. And we know that there are 2 cups in 1 pint. I'll go again, because at that point our cups cancel out, but I won't stop because I'm sitting there at pints. To get rid of my pints, put pints at the bottom, and I can go from a pint to a quart. And we know that there are 2 pints in 1 quart. Okay, now pints are gone. Got to get rid of those quarts. We'll put quarts at the bottom and go from a quart to a gallon. We know that there are 4 quarts in 1 gallon. So then our quarts cancel out, and we're left with gallons per day. So when we multiply straight across, at the top you've got your 3 billion. And then on the bottom, you're going to be dividing by 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 4 is 16. And it's times 1 down here on the bottom. But and then after you do that division, you should land at, for a final answer, 187,500,000 gallons per day. It's a lot. All right. Moving on then to number 9. It says, how many glasses of sweet tea must you consume to equal the equivalent number of antioxidants in 1 cup of black tea? Back to our graphic. Number 9, down here at the bottom, it tells you that come back down. It says I don't know why it keeps doing that on me. It says the antioxidants found in a cup of black tea is equivalent to 1 glass of red wine, 3 glasses of sweet tea. So there's our answer, exactly what we need here for number 9. So we don't have to do any work. Just go back here. Oh, all that we need is 3 glasses. 3 glasses of sweet tea. All right, and then in number 10, if a 30-year-old person was to follow the recommendations of having 6 cups of tea per day to reduce their risk of heart disease, how many cups would that person consume by the time they were 80? I'll show you here. We really don't need the graphic in this particular problem, but I'll show you where they got that particular piece from. And that came from up here at the top. I believe, no, just above where we just were, right here. There we go. They tell us that 6 cups per day is equal to less risk of heart disease. So that's the statistic they're giving us. But we're going to be using our conversions to answer the question. So we know that it's 6 cups per day. And we want to know then, well, how many cups would a person consume by the time they were 80 years old if they started consuming when they were 30? So we would say, okay, well, I want to go, this would be days. So we will say, okay, well, we know that there are 365 days in 1 year. That way my days are canceling out, and now I'm left with how many cups that they would consume in a year. I want to know how many cups that person's going to consume by the time that they're 80 years old. So how many years are we talking about? They're going to go from 30 years to 80 years old. So they're going to be doing this for 50 years. So I'm going to multiply this times, get rid of those years, so put years up top. I'm going to be doing this for 50 years. Then at that point, years cancel out, and the only unit I have left are cups, and that's what I'm trying to figure out, is just how many cups that person would consume. So you would put in your calculator 6 times 365 times 50. And that would put you at 109,500 cups of tea. That's a lot of tea. All right. I hope this helps with infographics. Infographics just take a little bit of time and getting used to them. Sometimes it's good just to look at the infographic a little while before you jump right into the problems, because there's a lot. Some infographics are busier, quote unquote, busier than others. Okay, so give them a chance, and they're also kind of fun too. All right, let me know if you need anything. Thanks a lot. Bye.